Hi guys, and welcome back to Hilltop Farm, and welcome to another lesson in Wicca. This week it is lesson 16. Okay, the summoning of the elements. Now, what have we got here? There's a few accompaniments that will go with this. There's 4, I think. There's 4. Okay. Spirit. We recognize the main 4 elements in ritual because they embody all that is nature. But there is one more elemental component we must consider. Spirit. Spirit is difficult to define, but everyone knows exactly what it is. It is the center of the ritual circle, or the top and bottom. It is that which holds everything together, or if one wants to use the symbolism of the pentacle, spirit is the topmost point, and the one, goddess, god, or both is the circle which binds them all together. Spirit is consciousness, it is morality, it is the basic essence of life, which all else is built. I consider love to be a spirit emotion, for it is the only one which makes you feel as bad as you do good, and you absolutely cannot control it. When you work with spirit, you can easily become confused. So I suggest a deep understanding of the other elements first. Spirit is the sum of all things that cannot be defined. The direction to start summoning the corners varies from tradition to tradition and may be altered to reflect the magical purpose of the ritual. In ceremonial magic, the east is almost always the starting point. In witchcraft and other ritual forms of magical tradition, the circle is usually started at the north point. This stems from the old pagan belief that there is greater power in the north. This belief was reflected in the old practice of pagan people who collected at the north entrance of the churches they were obligated to attend. In many cases this practice was barred, and in some old cathedrals in Europe the north entrances are blocked up. There are several theories as to why the north was regarded to hold so much power. Some suggest that early human beings knew of the magnetic properties of the Earth's poles. Some suggest that people living in the northern hemisphere many times attributed the north as being the home of the gods, as was written in some Celtic history, though certainly not all. For whatever reason, the north point of the compass is said to be the crux of the mystery, and many Wiccans and other witches start their circles in the north. Circles may be started at other corners depending on the ritual to be worked within it. For instance, in a spell that is greatly connected to the element of fire, the circle might be started and ended at that directional point. The important thing is not where your circle begins, but that it is constructed well. Most do not summon the elements themselves in a circle, rather they summon the guardian of the elements, also called the guardians of the watchtowers or the mighty ones, the evolved beings who direct and guide the elemental powers. The elements can be playful and mischievous, so the guardians are called to watch over them. So when we are summoning the elements of fire, we call only for the attributes and not for the fire itself to come into our circle. We seek the qualities and not the actual fire. Use these tables as a focus when summoning the watchtowers. So to summon Earth, you would be asking for stability and control, perhaps nurturing qualities. When you're doing a magical working, you would use the elemental energies most closely associated with your magic. You can always use more than one element also. You'll have to excuse me, teacher's privilege. I've just been bought the most gorgeous cup of coffee. Smells divine. Tastes divine. Okay, where was I? You can call upon the elementals in your magical workings, but do some research and meditate and communicate well with them before doing so. They can be helpful if you have an affinity for them, or they can be troublesome if you are not able to communicate effectively and clearly exactly what you wish them to accomplish for you. This will take time and practice. To develop an affinity for the elements themselves, you need to work with the elements singularly and intensively. For example, water. You might go to the beach and feel the rhythm of the sea. Immerse yourself in the water, try to become the sea itself, and be one with the life and forces therein. You can also feel the forces in a river, and the forces feel very different in a still lake or a small pond. The rain has a very different feeling also, and these are the manifestations of natural water. To connect properly, you must connect deeply and spiritually with these different manifestations of water. This takes time and effort on your part, but would be very worthwhile, as in your magical workings you would then have a deep affinity for and understanding of the elements itself. Air. Air is the element of intelligence. It is the realm of thought, which is the first step towards creation. Magically speaking, air is the clear, uncluttered, pure visualization, which is a powerful tool for change. It is also the movement, the impetus that sends the visualization out towards manifestation. It rules spells and rituals involving travel, instruction, freedom, obtaining knowledge, discovering lost items, uncovering lies, and so on. It can be used to develop the psychic faculties. Spells involving air usually include the act of placing an object in the air or dropping something off the side of a mountain or other high place, so that the object actually connects physically with the element. Air is masculine, being dry, expansive, and active. It is the element that excels in places of learning and which is at work while we theorize, think, and ponder. Oh, I don't know if you can hear that. We have an almighty downpour of rain at the moment. Wherever you are in the world, I know most of you in the middle of summer, and the UK especially is hot and dry. Here in Adelaide, we've had 2 days of just constant rain, so not that we're complaining. We don't get a lot of rain here, so when it comes, we're very grateful. But if you can hear a noise in the background, that's what it is. Air rules the east and the light of wisdom and consciousness. Its colour is yellow, the yellow of ethereal smoke of incense. Air governs the magic of the four winds, most divination, concentration, and visualization magic. Earth. Earth is the element we are closest to home with, since it is our home. Earth doesn't necessarily represent the physical Earth, but that part of it which is stable, solid, and dependable. Earth is the realm of abundance, prosperity, and wealth. While it is the most physical of the elements, it is not negative. For it is upon Earth that the other three rest. Without Earth, life as we know it could not exist. Fire. Fire is the element of change, will, and passion. In a sense, it contains within all forms of magic, since magic is the process of change. Fire magic can be frightening. The results manifest quickly and spectacularly. It is not an element for the faint-hearted. However, it is the most primal, and for this reason, it is much used. This is the realm of sexuality and passion. It is not only the sacred fire of sex, it is also the spark of divinity, which shines within us and all living things. It is at once the most physical and spiritual of the elements. Water. Water is the element of purification. The subconscious mind, love and emotion. Just as water is fluid, constantly changing, flowing from one level to another, so too are our emotions, in a consistent state of flux. Water is the element of absorption and germination. The subconscious is symbolized by this element because it is rolling, always moving, like the sea, which rests neither night nor day. Okay, this week's assignment. Before I go on to the assignment, in the description down below this video will be a link so that you can print out this handout. When I say print it out, you can just save it to your computer if you want. I prefer to have a hard copy and keep them in these binders. So I've constantly got something to reference, and you can make notes on the paper and all that sort of thing if you so wish. That's not what I'm looking for. Now, as well as that, there's going to be 4 additional links that take you to these supplements that come with this lesson. Okay, there's one on air, one on earth, one on fire, and one on water. Okay, and it gives you information. For example, air tells you the direction is east, its energy is protective, its star signs are Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Then it tells you about the sort of ritual work it is good for, places that represents air, gets you closer to that element, whatever. It talks about the colours being white, yellow, crimson, light blue, and pastel colours, ritual forms, basic nature, point in life, types of magic, the time, air is midnight, the season is winter and Yule. You've got magical tools that represent air, spirits, the angel that represents air is Raphael, sense is smell and hearing, which is quite obvious when you stop and think about it. It talks about the metals being tin and copper, incense, frankincense, plants, animals, goddesses, gods, all these sorts of things. So all that information is in there. So, like I always tell you, Wicca is a lot about visualization, representation. These things can be used, incorporated into your rituals, into your spell work, just into your daily life. All these things in here are references to the element of air. Alright, so you've got like a reference book that you can keep to refer back if you want to bring air into your circle, or you know, that kind of thing. And we have one, as I say, on earth, on fire, and on water. Alright, now the printouts for those are, as I say, in the description below, along with the printout for the lesson. Okay, so this week's assignment is, I want you to study the element handouts that come with this lesson. Familiarize yourself with all the things that represent each element. No one's asking you to remember all of it. You'll find you'll remember bits and pieces, but not all of it. That's what this is for. It's a reference. Okay, it's going to be years and years before you remember all this information that I'm giving you, which is why you need to be able to refer to it. Alright. Start working them into your rituals and invite them into your circle or bubble. You will find that your meditation, visualization and ritual work and circle and bubble casting will be really starting to make a difference in your life. You'll probably be noticing that already. Things will be changing for the better. You'll be feeling more content, happier, whatever. Bringing this into that will take it on to the next level. And if you can't see the changes, you need to look closer, because they're there. They're perhaps more subtle in some cases than others, but they're there. And if you can't see anything, you really have to question, are you giving all of this enough time? Because you have to, you have to meditate, you have to visualize, you've got to have that downtime, you've got to have time to yourself, time to listen to your heartbeat and your own breathing, okay? And if you're doing all that, you will see and feel a difference. And as usual, record all your findings in your journal, okay? So endeth the lesson. Okay, that was lesson 16. We're almost caught up. I'm hoping this round, this one and the next lesson should bring us all up to date. I'm going to be starting to release on, be on a Sunday afternoon our time. So it could be Sunday morning for some of you, possibly even on a Saturday night, because we're quite a bit ahead of a lot of you. But it's going to be a regular thing that's going to come out that I'm going to be calling the Wiccan Week, because I'm going to be starting to just cover the next week, and anything. I'll be telling you anything that's going on around here, a bit of a diary sort of thing, but I'll be reminding you too of any full moon, dark moon, Sabbats, anything that you should be perhaps remembering that maybe in your busy lives you're having trouble keeping track of it all. So look out for that on a Sunday. And when it comes out, it will be covering from the next day, being the Monday, right through to the next Sunday, sort of inclusive. So yeah, that'll be starting this weekend. So look out for that. Don't forget links down below for all these things. There's also a link down below for our Patreon page. If you want to become one of our Patreon family, that I'm now calling the schoolies, So come and join our schoolies group. That's my next project, is to go through and actually work out a new reward system for the Patreon people, or schoolies as I say. So that's going to happen in the next week or two. So if you're currently one of the schoolies, hang in there guys, because it's coming. And if you're not, if you can, come along for as little as I think it's either $1 or $2, I can't remember, a month, which is nothing. It's a coin in most countries, isn't it? Just a nothing. So for $1 or $2 a month, yes, you can come along and join all the benefits. As I say, I haven't worked out those benefits just yet, but I will do. So that's all from me. Thank you for joining me. If you like this video, give it a big thumbs up. Hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed to the channel, and hit the notification bell that's next to the subscribe button so you get notified when we put out a video. Until next time, it's goodbye from Hilltop Farm. See ya!